Hi, welcome to another lecture. Today, we're learning about the different roles in an ad agency and the career paths available for creative people. We'll explore what each job does, the challenges they face, and how creativity plays a key role in advertising success. Let's get started. When we think about great advertising, it's easy to get distracted by the flash, the latest VR trend, digital gimmicks, celebrity endorsements, or follower counts. But none of that really defines a great ad. What truly makes an ad great is the idea behind it, the big idea, the one thing that cuts through the noise and sticks in your audience's mind. Here's the good news: you don't need to be a top tier artist or an award winning writer to contribute something valuable to this industry. Maybe you weren't a strong English student, but you have a gift for capturing emotion in just a few words. Maybe you don't consider yourself creative, but you know how to build real communities online. Creativity in advertising shows up in different ways. And in this ever evolving industry, there is space for every kind of thinker. You may never write a TV script, but you might create the next viral TikTok or scroll stopping Reels campaign. Advertising is an industry that's constantly reinventing itself. And that means you don't have to fit in a box. You just have to bring your own unique skills to the table. As digital natives, many of us have never lived in a world without the internet, smartphones, or even social media. Because of that, we might not fully grasp how big the leap from traditional media to digital was when it comes to efficiency and impact. Back in the day, reaching 2,000 people might have cost hundreds of dollars through direct mail, up to $900 in some cases. Now compare that to digital platforms. The same reach now costs about $50 through search ads and around $75 through social media. That's not just a small savings, it's a complete transformation in how brands connect with audiences. But with all this efficiency comes complexity. To create an effective integrated marketing campaign, we have to understand all the tools available to us, from traditional formats to emerging tech that's still being developed: social media, SEO, content marketing, influencer partnership, email funnels, paid ads. Each one plays a role. Being a modern marketer means knowing how to combine the right tools for the right audience at the right time. As creative professionals, we're working in a space where people are bombarded with content. Studies estimate that we see over 5,000 marketing messages every single day, but we don't absorb most of it. We filter it through one lens: what's in it for me? This means our audience is constantly filtering messages through their own self interest. They only respond to the ones that speak directly to their needs, their goals, or their identity. So here's the key: our job isn't just to fine tune a clever message. Our job is to find the information that our target audience actually wants to receive. That's where true strategy begins. And that starts long before the first headline is written or the first video is filmed. It starts with understanding the audience, building a solid concept, and crafting a message that aligns with their desires, not just our creative vision. The truth is, creative success doesn't happen on the first try. Through trial and error, testing and learning, we start to discover what works, what doesn't, and what truly connects. Now, developing strong creative concepts isn't just about having great ideas, it's about grounding those ideas in strategy and research. First, we need to create strategies built on fact based, emotionally driven research. That means understanding both the data and the human motivations behind it. What does the audience need? What are they feeling? What's driving their behavior? Then we align that strategy with our creative thinking. It's not enough to have a big idea, it has to be the right idea, tied directly to the brand's goals and audience insights. We also have to learn the correct format for writing copy across both traditional and digital platforms. Copy for print isn't the same as copy for social media or digital video. The format matters. From there, we learn the basic rules of copywriting: how to write clearly, persuasively, and authentically. But just as important is knowing when to break those rules to grab attention or tell a compelling story. And finally, we have to learn how to put more sell in or copy. That means writing with purpose, guiding the reader toward a specific action, and making every word count. Now, as we continue developing strong creative concepts, there are several foundational skills we can't overlook. Skills that go beyond writing and visuals. First, we need to understand design basics that apply across all media. Whether we're working on a digital ad, a social post, or a print layout, things like balance, contrast, typography, and visual hierarchy still matter. Good design enhances the message, bad design distracts from it. Next, we must have sensitivity to the wide range of issues that impact society, especially those that affect people who are not like us. A successful brand message is inclusive, empathetic, and aware of diverse perspectives. That requires cultural competence and a willingness to check our own biases. We also have to earn and maintain an enduring respect for our consumers. Respect is built through trust, authenticity, and relevance, not gimmicks or empty messaging. Consumers are savvy and they'll disengage quickly if they sense a brand lacks integrity. Finally, we must always operate within an awareness of ethical and legal boundaries. That includes understanding intellectual property, truth in advertising laws, FTC guidelines, and the ethical implications of how we use data, imagery, or language. Creativity with responsibility. That's what makes a professional. As we wrap up the essential skills needed to develop powerful concepts, let's talk about what separates a good campaign from a great one. First, it's about continuity. Your campaign may have multiple pieces: social posts, video ads, landing pages, and email, but they all need to feel like part of the same story. Consistency in tone, visuals, and messaging builds trust and reinforces brand identity. Next, we must know how to work with emerging technologies like AI, AR, or new social platforms. But here's the thing: technology is a tool, not the idea. The tech should support the message, not become the message. In a fast moving digital world, we also need to recognize what endures. Trends come and go, but great storytelling, strong visuals, emotional resonance, and clarity of message always matters. These are timeless creative principles. Another important skill is knowing how to present your work. You might have a brilliant concept, but if you can't explain it clearly, To a client, a professor, or a team, it may never see the light of day. Presentation is persuasion. And finally, we need to learn to cut through the jargon and the fluff. Great creatives know how to strip everything down to the one clear message they want to communicate. No buzzwords, no noise, just clarity and connection. Let's pause for a moment to talk about the creative team. The creative team is guided by a creative director who acts like a coach. Traditionally, this team includes a copywriter and an art director, but it often extends to web developers, broadcast producers, and social media specialists. Creative leaders have the challenging job of cutting through the noise to find that golden idea. To do this, the team must deeply understand who uses the product, how it stacks up against competitors, what matters most to consumers, and countless other insights. Creativity isn't confined to roles. Sometimes art directors craft the best headlines, and sometimes writers spark the perfect visuals. Inspiration can come from anywhere, even a comment on Instagram or a tweet. A single image can tell a powerful story, just as a headline can paint a vivid mental picture. Ultimately, art and copy must work hand in hand to create something greater than the sum of their parts. Fundamentally speaking, a creative person wears many hats beyond just generating ideas. First, research plays a big role. Digging into both primary and secondary sources, always driven by uncovering real insights. Then comes strategy, collaborating with the team to turn that research into a clear, focused plan that will engage the target audience and deliver a strong return on investment. Next is ideation, transforming strategy into creative concepts that lay the groundwork for all or writing. Creatives always maintain direct contact with clients, gathering facts firsthand instead of relying solely on account executives, presenting ideas, and standing behind their work. Much of today's creative work is digital, writing websites, banners, articles, videos, blogs, social media posts, and more, often more than traditional ad copy. Finally, in broadcast, creatives may take on a producer role, selecting the right director, talent, music, and overseeing post production to bring the vision to life. Creative professionals also take on roles beyond content creation. They're involved in new business where they help to pitch ideas and win projects that keep the agency growing. They play a part in public relations, shaping how the brand communicates with the world and managing its reputation. And they take on creative management, where they guide teams, mentor talent, and ensure the creative vision stays strong from start to finish. Now, here are some tips for controlling the creative process. Step one, get the facts. Tap into the knowledge of your research team or account planners. Talk to both users and non users of the product. Know everything you can about the product, its competition, the market, and the people buying it. Try to make the product part of your life, but beware of me search. Just because you feel a certain way doesn't mean everyone does. Step 2, ideation. With solid research in hand, you should understand the target audience's needs and how the product meets them. Use that foundation to guide the creative flow. Focus on finding that killer idea instead of getting lost in too many questions. Step 3. Pick up a pencil before the mouse. Start with sketches, thumbnails, or lists. It's faster, easier, and helps sharpen the concepts before moving to digital. Think about the main visual and how to arrange the elements. Step 4. Find references and visuals. Can you clearly communicate your vision to the team? The final piece might evolve, but having a visual reference helps everyone stay on track. Look through websites, stock photo libraries, and award collections. Remember, visuals are a starting point, not the final answer. Step 5. Collaborate with the team. Some of the best creative work happens when people work together. Don't try to control everything. Your teammates might bring ideas that make you look like a genius. Step 6. Step outside the agency box. Most agencies now prioritize diversity and inclusion. Always seek feedback from people with different backgrounds or diverse expertise. This expands your perspective, helps avoid mistakes, and ensures your work resonates widely. Stay humble and open to how your work will be received socially. Step 7. Pre sell the suits. You'll often need others who work with clients to support your ideas. Building strong relationships with account teams protect your role and earns you allies when pitching your concepts. Step 8. Sell the client. Be ready to defend your work. Sometimes, no matter how brilliant your reasoning, clients will think with their wallets. Over time, you learn how far you can push them. Most clients appreciate creative challenges if there's a solid reason behind them. Sure, some might be clueless, and sometimes you'll just have to deliver something forgettable. When that happens, smile, cash the check, and hope for a better outcome next time. Clients will always find something to nitpick, but there are three things you never want to hear. That looks just like the competitors. Didn't you know what they're doing? I wanted something way more creative. Take some risk. You don't understand our product or market. Follow the earlier steps and you'll rarely hear those comments. Step 9. Get it right. Once you've sold the client, your job isn't done. Can you make it even better? If others are finishing your work, will they do justice to your vision? As Leo Burnett said, nothing takes the guts out of a great idea like bad execution. Step 10. Maintain continuity. Anyone can come up with a great idea once. The hard part is keeping it fresh and consistent across different media over time. Campaign elements tend to drift away from the original idea, and clients often get tired of a look before consumers do. Someone on the creative team has to keep everything aligned with the core concept. Step 11. Discover what worked and why. If your campaign hits its goals, fantastic. But if it wins awards while the client loses market share, that's a red flag. Keep tracking performance, analyze the data, and keep learning. The more you learn, the better your next campaign will be. Let's pause for a moment to talk about the creative paths in our business. Now, some creatives stay lifelong copywriters or art directors, continually sharpening their craft. Many find it rewarding to keep growing and improving throughout their careers. No matter how fancy the title, at heart, they're still writers or art directors. As for account service, this path takes extra dedication. Are you okay taking client calls late at night or on weekends? Do you enjoy getting up early to polish a strategy or revise a budget for the 10th time? If you thrive on bringing teams together, activating creative, and steering projects to completion, account service might be the perfect fit for you. Next, there's the account planner. This role suits writers who love research and enjoy acting as the bridge between account managers, creative teams, and consumers. It requires deep knowledge of research, marketing, creative work, and media, plus a strong intuition. Many successful copywriters already have what it takes to excel here. Now, when it comes to promotion directors, this is a growing field with lots of opportunities for creative minds. Writers and art directors are natural idea generators, so it makes sense to channel that creativity into sales promotions, unique events, sponsorships, specialty marketing programs, displays, and other marketing tools beyond traditional advertising. It's an exciting area full of potential. And PR writers. Writing a news release might seem easier than crafting an ad, but PR writing goes far beyond that. Editorial writing can often be more persuasive than advertising, though many ad writers won't admit it. Today, PR writers need to be social media experts, knowing what works, what doesn't, and how to engage audiences. We might produce videos, organize events or press conferences, and lead many other creative PR efforts. Now, some creatives work in house, managing social media, PR, trade shows, and media relations for their company or organizations. These people are internal advertising or the PR department. Now, in larger firms, we might handle promotional activities not covered by outside agencies. We might even write speeches for the CEO, helping them come across as more than just an overcompensated ego. In addition to the internal teams and the promotions folks, there are also web and interactive experts. Today, every writer or designer should be a digital native, or at least be ready to learn fast. You don't have to be a coding genius, but having some technical skills is a big advantage. Above all, creativity remains the most valuable asset. As for the social media specialist, more than just daily social media users, creative content providers must know how and when to use social platforms to persuade and engage. This role often involves daily monitoring, posting, and content creation, plus developing social media marketing strategies. Remember, anything posted personally can reflect on your employer or client, so be careful here. And then there are content providers. Content can mean native ads, feature articles, white papers, newsletters, and more. Creatives can work in agencies, in house teams, or freelance. The key is finding where the target audience's needs meets the brand's message. Now, when we talk about freelance writers or designers, some people love flexibility and variety that freelancing offers. Others enjoy the challenge of unpredictable workloads and frequent rejection. Success here demands discipline and constant self promotion. Freelancers are often last minute hires, so expect tight deadlines and fast turnarounds. We're wrapping up, but next we have the video and broadcast producer or director. If you have a knack for writing scripts, selecting talent, editing, or handling audio and video production, this path could be for you. Creativity, paired with a logical mindset is essential. Technical skills can be picked up on the job. Some of the best videos are even made on smartphones. Now, as for the creative strategies, some agencies focus solely on strategy. Once the strategy is sold, the agency gets paid before any creative work even begins. The team who create the actual content, copywriters, designers, art directors, developers, are paid when the real work is done. And then there are consultants. Companies often bring in outside consultants for a fresh perspective or to set the strategic direction for creative teams. Sometimes, consultant is just a polite way of saying unemployed. Often, they're repackaged freelancers or even relatives of the marketing manager. Now, if you want a creative career, you're probably thinking about three things: fame, fortune, and fun. Everyone wants recognition, especially when you're just starting out. But advertising is usually unsigned. So the only way to get noticed is by winning awards or hearing people say, wait, you were the one who did that? Awards can boost your confidence and help build your reputation. Keep entering competitions, learn from the winners, and remember, being part of the creative community is just as important as the work itself. Now, as for fortune, senior creative directors can earn as much or more than many doctors, though entry level pay often leaves a lot to be desired. Success depends on your talent, the economy, your network, and a bit of luck. The key is knowing how to sell something important, whether that's cheeseburgers or auto insurance. One thing to note: creative departments often struggle with diversity. And the fun is where we all want to be. Fame and fortune don't guarantee happiness, but solving problems creatively can be its own reward. Working alongside other creatives, collaborating with musicians, actors, and directors, landing exciting accounts, winning awards, traveling, these experiences make the work fun. If it ever feels boring, the clients get difficult, or the daily grind wears you down, it might be time for a change. Many creatives face burnout by 45. If agency life isn't for you anymore, freelancing or starting your own venture can offer freedom. Some even channel their creativity into nonprofits where fresh ideas are always welcome. Now, the bottom line is advertising is a business, often run by people who seem a little crazy. Sometimes it feels like we're trying to convince people to buy things they don't need with money they don't have just to impress people they don't even like. And to get a good job, you'll need a killer portfolio. But once we land that job, we'll probably spend a lot of time working on projects we're not proud of, stuff that won't make the highlight reel. Throughout our careers, there will be more junk than award winning work. And when we do create something great, everyone will celebrate until the next project comes along. We're living in what some call the conceptual age, a time shaped by changing demographics and evolving needs. Psychologists and thinkers have studied creativity extensively, moving beyond the old right brain, left brain ideas to recognize that creativity thrives when people from diverse backgrounds come together. Diverse perspectives and experiences fuel creativity. They are the engine of fresh, empathetic ideas. That's why diversity in the creative workforce isn't just a nice to have, it's essential. Let's shift our focus a bit to creativity and how that affects consumer behavior. The study of consumer behavior sits at the intersection of psychology, sociology, and marketing. Advertising legend Leo Burnett once said, "If we can't turn ourselves into our customer, we probably shouldn't be in the advertising business at all." That's the heart of it, understanding people. Marketers must ask, why do people buy? Where? When? How often? But most importantly, why? The question of why drives strategy. It's the question we ask again and again. To answer it, researchers dig into demographics, psychographics, and lifestyle data to figure out not just what people want, but how they want to get it. Account planners take that information and turn it into actionable insights that shape campaigns. Clients will spend billions testing products and consumer reactions, and billions more on programmatic ads powered by data and algorithms. But here's the twist: the marketplace, not the advertiser, decides what works. Some of the most successful innovations, like Google, Uber, Amazon, and Snapchat, came from bold ideas, not market research. Steve Jobs famously relied on intuition, not focus groups, to create products people didn't even know they needed. In the end, people don't buy products, they buy satisfaction. They buy identity, convenience, or the feeling of being understood. And it's our job to figure out how to connect the product to the deeper want. Furthermore, when we think about consumer behavior, creativity isn't just about visuals or clever copy. It's about understanding human motivation. Abraham Maslow's hierarchy of needs gives us a powerful framework to do just that. Imagine a pyramid. At the base of the most basic human need, comfort and safety. As we move upward, the needs become more psychological and emotional: stimulation, connection, and ultimately fulfillment. From a marketing communication standpoint, we're always asking, what need does our product or service speak to? Is it about comfort, making life easier, or solving a pain point? Is it about security, offering physical or financial protection? Maybe it's about stimulation, beauty, excitement, or novelty, or affiliation, helping someone feel seen, respected, or part of a group. And at the top, fulfillment, where the product becomes a symbol of status or self actualization. The creative challenge is to find that intersection where the product meets the consumer's needs. Once we identify that sweet spot, our job is to creatively communicate how our brand delivers satisfaction better, faster, or more meaningfully than the alternatives. In the real world of advertising and branding, creativity doesn't live in a vacuum. Most successful creatives are curious. They ask questions. They look for deeper truths and rarely accept just one perspective. Even though they work in a capitalist system, many of them are driven by something more: the desire to challenge the status quo. As Apple once said, the people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do. That spirit is still alive in great creative work today. But here's the reality: we still have a long way to go when it comes to diversity in creative departments. Bias still shows up in copy, visuals, casting decisions, and campaign strategy. What might seem funny, edgy, or clever to a young white male, for example, might seem deeply offensive or tone deaf to women, older audiences, or communities of color. So it's not just about having progressive beliefs, it's about translating those beliefs into real, thoughtful action. True creativity isn't just about breaking the mold, it's about doing it responsibly, with empathy, and with everyone in mind.